I did stay awake for all of this, and I did
Me
stay
too.
awake, and I watched some of the post-game stuff, even though I was just dying to go to bed. But it was, I don't know that it was as celebratory as we've seen in recent years. Maybe some of that had to do with who wasn't there, right? Fernando Tatis Jr. wasn't there. He was ill. It says here that he's awaiting tests. I don't know what to make out of that.
I saw someone said that I think it was Preller actually said, we're trying to figure out what's going on with him. It might be COVID. It might be the flu. It might be something else. So that's not great. This was the quote that it struck me when I read it this morning. This was not in the Padres Daily. This was in the game recap that Kevin AC wrote. It's a couple paragraphs in. It's a quote from Preller. Quote, "It always feels good for sure." Padres president of baseball operations, AJ Preller said. They forgot the close quote there. But the idea of 4 and 6 years, 2 in a row, getting back to October every year, that's what this is all about. I think when Ron Fowler, Peter Seidler, we talked about getting to this point, it was to get through the hard times, those rebuilding years, and to get to the point where starting in 2020, every year, year in and year out, fans of San Diego have a team that they feel like when the year started could get to this point. You've got to get in to give yourself a chance. Hasn't been an easy year, but I'm really proud of the organization for sure. Actually, there was another one too where he talked about we haven't played our best baseball since where was this one? He said we haven't played our best baseball since like the early part of the season, the first like month or two of the season. And he's like, yeah, as long as you're playing your best baseball beginning and end of the season, that's fine. And it was just really interesting to me to hear Preller, who's not really a bullshitter. He'll sometimes avoid the question, but he's not a bullshitter. It was interesting to me to hear even Preller go like, yeah, we have a chance at 90 wins. We're headed to the playoffs back-to-back years, 4 out of 6 years, and this year has been tough. Yep. Like, it's one thing for me and you to say that and be like, God, this season has just been such a grind. And then, we turn off the podcast and both of us, I'm sure, because I think about this, we're like, are we too down on this team? Are we too hard on this team? They're going to the playoffs again, back-to-back seasons. Like, maybe we should just appreciate it. And to hear Preller himself go like, no, this year's been rough. It was really interesting to me because outside of 1 or 2 points, they didn't have any long losing streaks. They just never really found everyone going well at the same time like they did in the beginning part of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think even Schilt, for whatever reason on the Padres post-game show, they were not going inside of the clubhouse live for Schilt, and Mike Pomerantz was saying something about, well, we respect the sanctity of the clubhouse. Then they posted all the stuff on social media, so yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not the point, but I think even Schilt had alluded to something along those lines. Like, that was the theme from him as well. Like, this has not been an easy season for us.
It has not been a straight line, was what Mike Schilt said. It has been grindy, but it makes it even more special. Adversity is a true indicator of character and team resilience. Like, this is a team that might win 90 games. And all the quotes are like, man, this has been a rough year. Those are the quotes you get at the end of a year when you miss the postseason. Like, this is crazy. And then the whole Fernando not being there just felt like he's the best player on the team. He's got the highest WAR. He's contributed the most to their wins this season. And for him to not be there just felt, I texted you last night halfway through this game, and I said it would be very much the 2025 Padres to win and celebrate without the best player there. Because it just feels weird. Like, you can't take any joy from this team. There's moments of relief, but there's almost no moments of joy.
I kept thinking, when you and I, since we've been doing this podcast for the entirety of the regular season, if there was something different about my approach, since I'm not doing daily talk radio, but we're doing this every day.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing 3-4 hours every day where you're searching high and low for something that you can carry a conversation about. And I thought maybe it was my approach, or maybe that's because I'm so involved with SDFC that my mindset has changed a little bit, that after 2 hours of any sporting event, I'm like, okay, I have this internal clock now, right? So I keep thinking, like, is it, to your point, when we get done with the podcast and you're asking yourself, is it me? And I've had the same conversation. Is it me? But this 162, and you're right to point that out, that both Schilt and Preller have all but validated some of the stuff that we've been saying here. It wasn't just us. 162 is long enough. These guys showed up to Peoria in the middle of freaking February, dude. And 162 this year has felt like 262. There's been that much that's gone into it. And I do think it is a good reminder. People always will nitpick the clubhouse celebration stuff. And like I said, I don't know that it's anecdotal for me to say that. I don't know that that's backed up by any fact. I wasn't in there. But, Manny certainly seemed to be enjoying it a lot, didn't he? Manny was right at the center of it all. But I do really think that when you play that many games and you dedicate that many hours to it, I have a friend who worked in public relations for a baseball team. And one year he did the dumbest thing ever in that he wrote down how many hours he actually spent at a ballpark, and he did some math with his salary, and it's like, I make $4 an hour. The amount of time that you invest when you work in baseball it's insane. I'm not saying that lightly. Like, it is insane. Now, you'll say, hey, $30 million, whatever. But there's a lot of people around who aren't making $30 million. And the amount of time and emotional and physical investment that you make in a sport to get to this point, I really do think it is, it should be celebrated. And I'm really happy for a lot of the people that I still know in that organization, some of whom I spied inside of the clubhouse after the game, names that most people listening would not know. I'm really happy for them because I know how much, emotional, I know what it does to your relationships, like it takes a toll. Working in baseball is an unhealthy existence. I don't say that lightly. There's a reason why I gravitated away from it. I thought it's what I wanted to do. And then I looked around and I had a bunch of friends who worked in baseball, and I was like, they're sending you every signal on planet Earth. So to see the people get a chance to enjoy it, even if you say, well, it's just a 5 seed. On social media, of course, there's a whole army of people ready to point out that they should act like they've been there. But shut up. Like I do think like there was something to that, to your point, from both Preller and Schill, who acknowledged after they crossed that finish line. Now, again, AC makes me laugh because he's AC. But, I do think that there has been something here that has really been challenging and uniquely challenging to this group this year. So good for them that they were able to figure it out. And we'll see where it takes them now for the rest of the games this week, and certainly next Tuesday, what looks to be game 1 in Chicago on Tuesday of next week.